Hello! It's me, I can talk now, rather than it being 1 in the morning and not being able to talk out loud. Hello! Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Ramen's Bunker Binge. Today we're playing Amnesia the Dark Descent yet again for another hour-long, just quiet, not really going to be talking too much, just sort of immersing ourselves in the game again. This is unlike all the other episodes in the series that are edited. Amnesia Dark Descent means a lot to me. I accidentally cut this out at the beginning of the last video, but Dark Descent means a lot to me, and I just want to give it the attention that it deserves. Just quietly explore and immerse myself, and that's all we're doing. It's my birthday today, so there's people over there downstairs just chatting, having a good time. So I'm going to be muting a couple of times, and there might be people coming in and out, so I'll have it paused and stuff, but yeah, I have a bunch of snacks with me as well, so I'm quite happy. I'm in my element. All I want for my birthday is to play Amnesia the Dark Descent. And that's what I get to do. Righty. Again, hopefully I'm not blowing the audio out by talking too loudly. I've changed some settings as well. So it should hopefully run a tiny bit better. Keep going, there must be a way out of this place. Must be. Let's do something we never do. Just get this. We never go in here. Playing with the Remastered mod. I really hope you can hear me. I think you can. It says that I'm peaking the audio, so I'm really going to hope I'm not too loud. Shut up. We're playing with Florian's Remastered mod. The link's in the description. Florian is very talented. I really respect him. So give this a try. Give him a tip as well. He deserves it. I wonder what I'm doing. I kept holding it down. If you stack the food on top of it, he'll keep eating them and it will extend his eat timer. Oh. Something large brushed against his leg and he felt himself being dragged along by the current of the beast. He pushed himself above the surface. Help! He cried before the ocean swallowed him again. I got my voice cracked there. raise the ceiling? City to the ocean, the black hull of SS Hortensia glittered in the soothing warm yellow light of the setting sun. He turned his head to the calm ocean reaching towards the coast of Portugal and thought, is this another dream? Maybe, said Ramen, eating a chicken satay off of the stick. Maybe. You used the extended version again, Florian. Oh. Dark Descent's music is composed of little loops, but most of them are extended tracks that got shortened down.
An ascending room. Will it take us to the inner sanctum?
It will definitely take care of the vertical part of our journey. So, you have ridden an elevator before?
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent's Park has one. It takes you to the gallery where you can view the panorama.
Good. This ride might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
I eat crisps like a frog. If they're on a platter, and it's my platter, I'll just like put my tongue on them and just... like a dog drinking water. I don't like getting food in my hands, on my fingers, so... Alrighty. Storage. Let's go. He fixed the gap in the door, I think, as well. Maybe? I can't tell. There's normally a little gap here you can see out of. It might still be there, actually. Yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure. No. returned the teacup to the saucer, picked up the orb as one with an apple, and pondered on the strange happenings. I need to get my own orb. That's a good idea. I could use it as a prop. The darkness in the storage feels strange and unnatural. It is. Let's do a fun thing. Oh! Oh!
Please, let me go! I won't tell anyone, I swear! I just want to go home! No! Get away from me! Leave me alone!
Oh! Oh fuck. Go over there. Whoa, holy shit, do you see that? Oh. Which way? No one made noise. You made noise. He's returning to his route. Oof. It's still so tense. How? How? Just answer me this. How? I have hundreds of hours in this game across multiple different devices. Excuse me, and it's still just as tense as it was when I first played the game 11 years ago. And he actually made the bigger boxes interactable. I believe. I think that's a new change. I noticed that earlier. I was like, oh wow. promise you, if you can't see anything, don't worry, nor can I. We're in this together. Alexander, I have prepared the explosives you needed for clearing the flood drain. I can't stress enough how important it is, but the mixture is handled with care. Please try to tell your featherbrain servants this before you go ahead with your plans. The liquids are not by themselves explosives, they should be kept separated to avoid further mishaps. I've arranged 2 large vats in the next room for the ingredients. All we need to do is mix the liquids and you're ready to go. Agrippa. No terve, Agrippa. God, she's buried in all of the sacks or bricks or whatever these are. Oh, no! How will we ever get her out? Yeah, the mom and the daughter are also voiced by Lainey Malella. Lainey, which again is the hive mind from Penumbra Black Plague. Lainey Malella's been in so much stuff. She's been in like every video game imaginable. Oh my god. But she's also one of my favourite Skyrim voice actors, the Dunmer lady. You got Janassa, you got Irilith. She's all of those women. Try not to let my familiarity with this game and my love for speedrunning get in the way of me immersing myself, because you know how quickly I can beat this game. If you're familiar with me, what the fuck? Oh, that's the box I threw. Then you know that I can beat this game in like 50 minutes. Just running through every single encounter that I can. With all my little strats that I devised for the hard mode speedrun. Cozy. Oh, and if you haven't played Fleeing Brennenburg by Florian, fantastic, incredible mod. Explores parts of Brennenburg that you don't really get to see, and it brings the rebirth monsters into HPL2, which is very commendable, because I've seen trying to work with HPL2 and HPL3 and 3.5, it is a fucking nightmare at times. So for Florian to do all of this by himself is incredible. He absolutely deserves so much attention and respect for the stuff that he's done. And money, if you can afford to tip him a little bit. I'm not trying to light every torch or anything, just most of them. We finally get to do it. Hold up. Oh, I'm so excited. I reference this all the time. Throw fucking bread at his face. Bread attack! heart pumping. A bloodstained piece of cloth from a young woman's dress. If a full set of 3 rods isn't available, there is 1 rod in the inner study rooms which might work in case the elevator breaks down again. Unless it is absolutely necessary, always use the spare rods in the storage before using a mended one. Stay away from the crack in the door, he can see you. If you're going to wait by the light... Oh, did he change the scripting? He did, didn't he? Did he? Maybe not. A hiding place. Shall we? We'll risk a hit, yeah. This is a risk. Hello. Bunk. Oh, he didn't even get staggered by it. Oh, he's like on the arse. Oh, we're gonna get hit, yeah. Oh, fuck, that's so scary. Oh. The thin cold mist brushed his face as he stepped outside, wondering whether it could be cruel, but it was the kind of cruelty he could handle.
Don't forget your bag, Daniel.
I won't, Herbert.
There is no shame in using a parasol in the desert. As it happens, it's imperative to your survival.
But it looks ridiculous.
The shade will hurt much less than dying, I assure you.
Bunker, can you bring back the wibbly wobbly camera filters, please? Come on. It's not unusual with the wibbly wobbly camera filters. Or night vision. That's why Machine for Pig's presentation was kind of bland. Didn't have either of those things. You tried to fit the pieces together, but like the sand dunes, they shifted when you weren't looking. I love Dark Descent's music so much. I love Dark Descent so much, it's so cozy. I don't know what it is about it, I absolutely love it.
My journal is gone. What would they want with my journal?
I bought a new journal the other day. Here it is. I haven't read it yet, but I probably will. I'll be right back in just a second. Whoop.
Someone's coming!
that is pounding and all is shaking.
2nd of July, 1839. I received a letter today from the Algerian governor's office disclosing the fate of Herbert's expedition. About a week after my departure, Abdullah, one of the men traveling with us, returned from the desert. He was badly injured, as if maimed by a lion. The man rambled deliriously about the expedition being attacked by something horrible. The French quickly dispatched a search party to look for the expedition. After searching for days, they found the camp abandoned without any trace of Herbert or his men. Tomorrow, I'll retrieve the things they recovered from Herbert's tent at the customs house. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm worried for him.
They came in through the top. Because you got the string, or the rope that they abseiled from. They dug down into it. I thought the twisting path emerged into the great antechamber. But they didn't dig in from the... Oh, where did they come from? Because they were in the big hall, and then they removed the big slab of stone. And Daniel's little corridor upwards is the staircase and the statues on the walls. With the Roman statues and shit. I kind of refuse to believe that Daniel hadn't seen the Roman statues before. I get the big buff, manly Greek statue thing that's holding up one of the planes, but... the women statues praising like that, I can see that being a bit strange and not seeing a statue like that before, but the regular Roman statues with just their armour on, everybody's seen those, even in the 1800s. You know what the Romans were? But that pathway up, we come from the opposite side. So where did they come from? Because that tunnel that leads down into the ghoul nest wasn't there. Or at least if it was, they didn't come from it because it was infested with ghouls. As we know at the time, it was infested. Or maybe it wasn't infested, maybe there was just one or two of them. So interesting. I'm really excited to play Rebirth now after this, just to see the parallels. Oh.
Daniel,
What?
still having nightmares, I see.
Yes, I can't shake them. They come every night.
We'll put a stop to them. You'll see.
The reflection, bro.
3rd of July, 1839. Today I picked up Herbert's things at the customs house. I dug through the trove of documents he had carried and found a log detailing the expedition. The nature of this text ranged from quick notes to colourful accounts of transpired events. I skimmed the pages, trying to figure out what might have happened. May 17th, the day I was trapped inside the orb chamber, Herbert dryly states, "Recovered Daniel after 1 hour of entrapment." This confused me greatly. I was suffocating within minutes. How could I have lasted an hour? I continued reading the peculiar text. Herbert states his facts without judgment or passion, but suddenly I could read frustration into his text. He pushed his men to investigate the underground tomb, an effort which seems to have strained the minds of his men. Madness spread through the ranks, and Herbert had to take some extreme measures to continue. He finally visits the chamber himself, where he retrieves the orb to the surface. His account confuses me greatly. If he has the orb, what are those pieces in my drawing room?
Yeah, what? What is that? What did he find? There were 7 orbs. There are 7 orbs and there's 7 family members in Tihana's bloodline. Tihana, Atua, Urnaya, the Binder, or something. So it's an orb for each of them. They all have their own orb. The Guardian is the Shadow. The Guardian is there to protect the orbs. So, oh, that's actually an interesting point. I thought that the Shadow itself was from a different dimension, actually. But considering the orbs are one of the cornerstones of the Dark World civilization, they have to be inextricably linked to the Shadow and to the Guardian. Maybe the Shadow was a creation of theirs. Completely organic tissue. And it is somewhat sentient. Dark Descent proves that the Shadow is actually sentient to some degree. Because we already knew this in its design, the fact that the Shadow doesn't automatically kill everybody that steals an orb. We find out in this game that Agrippa is carried miles and miles away across the Alps from where he first took the orb. Yeah, but it didn't kill him, it just took it from him. You know, we find out that Daniel, again, isn't killed, it's pursued. It's been branded, it's just being used. But it hasn't killed him, and it doesn't kill him until the end. Depending on the choices you make. In Rebirth, the only reason that the Shadow kills Tassie is because it's been weaponized.
The key. Please, let it be here.
Sorry, my nose is cold. Hello.
Thank God, there it is. I guess it is a good place to hide it then.
Where were you hiding the machine room key? And yeah, the Daniel suffocating within minutes, he lasted an hour. That's just another thing that Rebirth expanded on, is Daniel must have passed out, suffocated, but the Queen kept him alive. Tihana kept him alive. The healing spirit of the desert, the Mother Ginny.
4th of July, 1839. It's done! The orb is assembled. I was awakened by an exhausting nightmare. Shaking and sweating, I retired to the drawing room with a cup of tea. The relic pieces lay spread across the table as I'd left them, but somehow I knew how it was supposed to be. I fetched the tar, which I had prepared to fix the pieces together, and without fault I joined them, producing the orb I remembered so clearly. The tar proved unnecessary. It was pushed out from the joining pieces as they merged on their own, with no adhesive. The ancient stone relic now rests on my table. Its immaculate surface and perfect shape could have been molded by a factory. This is all too strange.
Professor Taylor was the second death caused by his damned curiosity. strange that I frightened him, but it was also the only one which offered some comfort. I know I can protect you, come to Brennenburg Castle. What am I to make of this? Protect me from what? Is someone after me? I looked up Brennenburg and traced it to the Baltic Sea or whatever. I fucking love dark, this shit. Yeah, the bunker better have those wibbly-wobbly camera filters. If it doesn't, it's gonna be kind of upsetting. Just add some movement to the image, you know, some life. And they better fix the fucking head bob. In Rebirth, the head bob was atrocious, and Tessie's movement speed was so fast. It was ridiculous. When she holds the lantern and runs, she goes like a fucking retard. To my most trusted student and friend Johann Wyatt, the most remarkable thing happened as I was travelling through the Prussian woods this summer. I finally found one of the orbs I've been looking for the last 20 odd years. It is as inexplicable as the heliodramers described it in the Hortus Conclusus. It was as it was told about, an underground Mithraic temple crowned with the unearthly artifact. The orb was big enough to fill my cupped hands and the texture was smooth and jagged, its colour washed while rich. Contrast is not enough to describe its nature. It was an impossibility, an artificial paradox captured within stone. I was staying in a nearby village called Altstadt, investigating one of the antiquated trails, when I finally found the cavern. I went inside and suddenly I could verify the truth of these enigmatic artifacts. They were real. As you can understand, this is the most important discovery of my life, but it has also become my greatest fear. As I entered the underground chamber, I could feel I was trespassing. Because of my curiosity, I did my best to fight these instincts and fetch the orb from its place. I scrambled out of the chamber and into the woods. I could sense something was following me. It bayed loudly as it closed in. The beast, this guardian of the orb, was relentless in its pursuit. I made my way to a nearby ravine where I stumbled upon some men fishing in the lake. I tried to warn them as I passed, but fortunately they remained as I continued my escape. When I heard their cry of pain echo throughout the valley, I felt such a tremendous sense of relief thinking I would be spared. Suddenly a blue shimmering light engulfed me, and the colours of the forest were washed away before my eyes. I kept running through the bleak surroundings. The trees had turned charcoal black with leaves of cinder, the ground covered in murky water. I pressed on through the drenched land as the glowing ember gave way to the rising wind and rained on me. I could hear pleading screams in the distance, and I joined in as pain and fear overtook me. I fell to the ground gasping for air. This certainly must sound strange, but I had been carried miles away across the Alps to a grassy field outside Genoa. The Guardian had taken the orb from me, but still until this day I fear its return. Sometimes I lay awake at night listening for the howling cry I heard in the forest. It has been nearly a decade since that day, and I still haven't been able to write about the incident. As I was travelling through the Prussian woods this summer. A decade ago. Which one was it? The last time we spoke, you told me about your interest in the ongoing research into the mythic orbs, and I realized I owed you the truth about my visit to Altstadt, your friend and mentor, Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. Is Henry Clement, Henri Clement, listen to this. Watch this.
Henri Clement.
Henri Clement. Henri Clement. I'm not pronouncing his name like that ever. Henry Clement. I'll say Henry Clement.
Henri Clement.
French.
Henry Clement.
Oh, this one's American. Oh, my one's English. British. English. You're in America. Speak English. But is Henry Clement? Is he Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa? No. But Frictional did talk about time travel a couple of years ago in a blog, and some of the script is fucking insane. So maybe they're one and the same. I have no proof. It's just conjecture. Did you put the gramophone back in? Yay!
Daniel, you killed me. You took my life away.
Wait.
If only you realize what you've done, what father you forced upon history. have to make it right. Stubborn old boy. I have to step. I need you to give me the answer. Rid yourself of guilt. Tell me a truth. The man who escaped death in Grenoble. Who is he? Who is hunting? And who is the banished one? You laughed when I told you I would call on Gabriel to help. You know him. Where did you meet him? You are living. Your mind is questioning my existence. I request a sincere Daniel. This is all real. Where did you meet your sister? Daniel, you are coming back. Go home. Call on her. What's her name? And let her bring you home to England. Listen, if there is any will in you left, answer my question, and let them make a name for herself.
Well, we know Gabriel met Daniel in the Mueller. Gabriel was... It's in the short story, okay? It's interesting she brings up Agrippa. We don't know who Agrippa is just yet. I mean, like, we've heard of him. He's a very famous 1600 man. Yeah, that's beauty. I am irrelevant. Cool. So that's really interesting. The subtitles weren't exactly correct in places, but it was mostly correct. Yeah, that's that was in the beginning of the game, and then they patched it out. But the remaster puts it back in. Thank you, Florian. It's a lovely little detail that I'm sure not a lot of people really remember at this point. Ooh. Fuck. Find another way around the rubble in this study. Find a way to start the engine that powers the elevator. Find the key that unlocks the door leading to the machine room. No. No, you know what? I'm just gonna stand here and do nothing. Have a biscuit.
Hey guys, welcome back to my mukbang.
Again, was that funny? Please rate my joke. You had so much potential. You could have been a star, kid.
Let's see what you have to offer. What a mess. I should have sharpened the saw, but I can sense it. It's definitely there.
Jens Nilsson, your sound work was good in Penumbra, but Tapio Liukonen, my fucking god. Incredible. Canis Lupus Familiaris, 1658, April 12th. I read that as anal experiment instead of animal experiment. After a short study, it is clear that the agitation found among humans can be found in the dog. Fear and pain induce stress, which seems to trigger an endogenous response, causing the animal to burst with energy. I believe that the catalyst is produced in the brain. It is difficult to determine exactly where and what it is, but I can sense it. It reeks of cosmic genesis. There is an inherent problem in harvesting this energy, since the creature is bound to die from the exercise. I must refine this process of torture to enable any real work to be done. More experiments must be performed, but it seems that only human beings are able to produce the amount necessary. It might be their ability to appreciate the severity of the process that ultimately augments their experience of terror. Interesting. This note seems to imply that... Well, here's only saying it for animals. In Rebirth, Aandra, the prophet... He's not a prophet. Aandra is the person who came up with the Elixir of Emmerich, which was the potion that makes them forget who they are. It's the Amnesia potion. But this note seems to imply that he hadn't figured that out just yet, even though in Rebirth it's the reason that he's kept in before he gets found out and exiled. Which does, again, beg the question, what did Alexander do to get exiled in the first place? Because he was hiding from people. And then Tihana's lot took him in. And then when they realized who he was, they got rid of him. Maybe he was just talking about animal studies though in this scenario, because if humans weren't always going to be available to him. I mean, because he already expressed worry about Wilhelm and his men getting him in trouble and then not being able to bring him more humans. So animals would have had to be a last resort. For humans it's easier to give them, to wipe the memories and shit, but with animals they're more base instinct. Ugh. 1658, January 9th. Further disappointment. The antiquarian's latest findings yielded nothing. Antiquarian? Antiquarian? You don't say antique, you go antique. Antiquarian's latest findings yielded nothing. I'm still unable to grasp the inner workings of life and its relation to the power I sense within it. I shall pursue more books on the subject, but I suspect it will be in vain. Since no research has been made on my particular interest, I must attempt to fill that void myself. Clearly humans emanate more of the energy I seek, but I hope animals will suffice, as they would prove less of a hassle to acquire. Yeah. So I guess that's a retcon for Rebirth. Because in Dark Descent it's implied that Alexander already knows how to manipulate. Well, we're only basing this off the assumption that Ayandra is the same person as Alexander. We have no real reason to believe it is, other than they both accomplish similar things in both games. So it's just the general consensus that they are the same person, but again we have no definitive proof. It just would make more sense that it's somebody we know with a similar name, as opposed to somebody we've never heard of before, doing a very similar thing. I mean, I guess that's kind of a retcon. Rebirth's ties to Dark Descent aren't the most solid, but they did make an attempt. Like in Rebirth, what's his name? Herbert implies that Herbert directly says he's sending Daniel to Alexander, which doesn't happen. Daniel only finds who Alexander is after he receives a letter and then goes through Herbert's things that he retrieves from the customs house. He goes through his address book. Everything looks so chocolatey and smooth in this remaster. Oh, I love it. Almost. We've already done the chair flip for this season, so we don't need to do it again, but fuck are you? Oh, I'll save you. Insanity pigs, they're not here. When will it be my turn? Have I not shown restraint? My patience spans centuries. From where I came, mankind has not even wasted a breath, yet I bow to you. I have done so much for you and I have gained nothing in return. Agrippa, I trusted you. It was I who in all fairness should have entered the gate. I'm sitting here drawing more parallels to Penumbra. We mentioned this in the Penumbra Black Plague and Requiem episodes, probably in Overture as well. One, these are the memory stones from Penumbra. They're not exactly the same, they're not named in this game. We don't know why they're here or why they're such a similar mechanic to Penumbra, other than just a reuse of a familiar thing. But they're both present in both worlds, and it's a very interesting thing to bring up, because I still think Penumbra and Amnesia universes are connected. In some way, there's just so many similarities There's so much crossover between the two games, and it's probably just an accidental, just a case of the games being developed at a similar time with a small budget, just repeated ideas and motifs. But goddamn, this is called the Persona TARDIS in Penumbra, but they're called memory cylinders in this game. But they serve as the same function, in a way. It's very interesting thinking of it. If the elevator breaks down again, make sure to use the steam engine to build up pressure before channeling it into the machinery. Adjust the levers to get the right amount of pressure inside the chamber, and the meter should read up 8 and down 8. Make sure the flow is set according to the following chart. Excuse me, Trinity steam set functions, 4-phase amplitude, complete steam flow cycle. Note that the machine will not check proper configuration until all rods are inserted. Excuse me. Did that disappear in here? Dum dum dum. I still remember when PewDiePie did that Amnesia replay series in 2018, and he picked this up and he smashed it, and was like, I hope that was Alexander's grandma. Hey! I forgot, in this one they render as objects and they don't despawn. God, look at the detailing on the chair, bro. Oh, we found a way over. He flipped through the Book of Monarchs looking for etchings and counted. 9 different kings from all over Europe had been depicted with an orb resting in their hands. William Smith had been marked. There was no way for him to know that the young man from the other day cast such a terrible shadow.
It's true!
July 1839. Today I went to the university looking for answers. I was able to sneak into Herbert's office and pick up an address book along with some relevant textbooks. Professor Taylor at the Faculty of History was very helpful, and I managed to approach the subject of the orbs. The most interesting aspect was the prevalent trace they had left in our culture. The mythic orbs may in fact have inspired the globus cruciger, which so many royal regalia holds to this day. In ancient times, the orbs were held by priests as a symbol of the sun and its power. As I was leaving, I overheard a disturbing conversation. Sir William Smith, the geologist, was killed last night. Less than a fortnight had passed since I'd asked for his expertise. I know it's silly, but I can't help feeling responsible somehow. 14th of July, 1839. I've read every book I can find on the subject. While rich in legend and hearsay, my knowledge is lack for the insight I crave. I've sent letters to many in Herbert's address book and received answers of varying importance. Today, I got one which differed greatly from the others. From a baron in Prussia. He said nothing about the quaint stories of priests in underground temples. He didn't even mention them. He simply wrote, "I know. I can protect you. Come to Brennenburg Castle. Signed, Alexander." What am I to make of this? Protect me from what? Is someone after me? I looked up Brennenburg and traced it to the Prussian woods near the Baltic Sea. While being the least informative letter I've received, it causes me greatest distress and interest. As I write, my thoughts are drawn to my nightmares in which a most disturbing sound calls to me. A sound defying description. A voice from the void. The last few weeks have been awful, with so many sleepless nights dreading a repeat of those horrid dreams. Tomorrow, I shall visit my physician, Dr. Tate, in hope that he can provide me with sedatives to help me sleep.
Note that there are only 2 spare rods left in the storage for the elevator machinery. Make sure to only discard the ones which are badly damaged and keep the others in the inner study rooms in case all 3 would crack again.
July 1839. How has this escaped me? They're all dead. Limbs scattered, heads split down the middle, their skin flayed as if boiled. I feel like I'm falling into myself. What's happening? Sir William Smith, Professor Taylor, now Dr. Tate. Is it following me? How can it not be? It's the damn thing I brought from Africa. Something is after me. I have no choice but to trust the Baron. He better know what he claims. If he is wrong, I suspect he'll regret it as well.
Oh, we can actually have a good look at the lantern now in this line. Look at that. Two punches. No punches. He panted heavily, trying his best to keep himself from screaming. The medicine cabinet had been overturned and they collapsed on the floor. He reached through the broken glass door and grabbed all the sedatives he could find. Moving that orb was like pushing a star in the night sky. Wasn't supposed to happen. The shut-up isn't some vengeful spirit. It's the universe catching up with itself. Playing the remasters reminded me of when I played this game for the first time. Slightly laggy. Long loading screens. Well, that does it for this video. I'm really excited for the next one. Oh! I'm so excited to play this game again. Wow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.